everyone. Welcome back to Presley Mania. Thank you for joining me today. I'm excited to talk to you about this new video. We're going to be discussing, Riley has released Lisa's memoir in paperback form. And there have been a few little changes to it. Some of you have probably already seen on social media what all is she's done and everything. She has included an afterword, and I've got that here. We'll talk about it a little bit. And she has changed the cover of the book. Personally, I loved the original cover with Lisa Marie sitting in her daddy's lap. To me, that was just the absolute best thing in the world. But this cover for the paperback is a picture that we have seen many times, and it is Lisa Marie and Riley as a young little girl, and she's got her tongue stuck out at whoever was taking the photo of them. So that is the new cover for her book, From Here to the Great Unknown, in the paperback version. So wanted to make that clear that that is on the paperback. So for whatever reason Riley wanted to change it, we can speculate all day long that there is some hidden meaning. As far as I'm concerned, I liked the other one better, but again, Riley finished the book for her mom, so it was her choice to change the cover if she so wished. So the book came out on November 11th. Riley made a post on Instagram, and this is what she said. Today, the paperback edition of my mother's autobiography, From Here to the Great Unknown, is out. I do wish she was here to have seen the overwhelming response to her book. She would have been reading all the comments and the DMs about how many people related to her story in some way and found it to be cathartic. I'm excited for this new little life the book is having, and for it to end up in more people's hands who may have the same experience. Thanks to everyone on her behalf for all of the love and support. So that's Riley's message to everybody about the release of the book in paperback. And so now we're going to talk a little bit about the afterword that Riley wrote about it. She starts out and she says that she pretty much, the afterword is talking about looking for a sign from her mother, wondering if Lisa Marie was happy with the book, just something. She said that right before the book was released that she put Tupelo to bed, and her husband went outside to do some things around the house, and she said, I just went and laid down on the bed. She said, I wasn't tired. She said, but realized that she was just looking for a sign from her mother to see if she was pleased, if she wasn't pleased. And she said she closed her eyes and tried to find her. And she said she just kept thinking back to the time when she had lain right there in that bed listening to her mother's tapes. She said, but I didn't hear anything. She said nothing. She said the room was empty and she was alone. And she apparently said this out loud. She said, I hope this is how you wanted this all to happen. And she said, but there was no response, nothing, only silence. She said, and then she was everywhere. Well, that's because the tour started. And I do want to read to you a little bit about what she says here. I'm just going to take a certain little excerpt. I don't want to get in trouble for copyright laws or anything like that, so we're just going to read a portion of it. She said that she went around the country talking about her endlessly. I was at Graceland talking about her on stage with my grandmother. Yeah, we know. I was in New York, Los Angeles, Nashville, St. Louis, talking about the contours of her life, about how painful the writing process had been for her, and Riley goes on to say how painful it was for her as well to complete it, and that she hoped through all of it that people would come to know her as who she really was, and that she had hoped that Lisa Marie was finally in control of her own story. Because I think Lisa, and I get that, Lisa, in a lot of ways, was completely misunderstood. She mentioned in the memoir that if this could help one person, talking about Ben, when Ben had passed and everything, that it would be all worth it. If it could just help somebody, that she wanted to help somebody. And I think most people never realized that's how Lisa Marie truly was, that she had inherited that from her father. Raleigh goes on to say that still, no matter where she went, where she traveled, what she did, she kept looking still for a sign from her mother. Something to say, I'm pleased with it, I'm happy, you did a good job. And I get it. I get it. I can only imagine how Riley must have felt finishing this book for her mom and hoping that she did it the way that Lisa Marie would have wanted it to be. That had to have been a big burden for her to carry. She said that one interviewer asked her what Lisa Marie's favorite books were, and she said that her mind immediately went to a well-read, dog-eared copy of Laura Lynn Jackson's book, Signs. And she said that Lisa Marie kept that book on her kitchen table. And she said it shouldn't be surprising that the book was about communicating with loved ones who have passed away. She said, and it was one of Lisa Marie's favorites, and it was a staple in her house. So that book is another trait, like her daddy. She had a favorite books, and she read them, and she, was looking for a sign. She was searching for something, hoping for some way to communicate, or was there some way to communicate with them? And that's sad to me, because she had to have been obviously searching for something. Riley says that she, as a person, Riley speaking, has always been open to magical thinking, but that she felt like that her mom had truly missed it all. And I'm not really sure what that statement means. She said, I think it's important to keep a hold of childlike wonder. But in this moment, I had come to the stark realization that she had truly missed it all. And I have pondered that question over and over and over, wondering exactly what Riley means by that. You can write your comments down below and let me know if what your thoughts are. I really don't know. But she said that she felt like that Lisa Marie had missed it. So had she missed what? That's my question. What did she miss? What was she searching for? According to what she had written previously, it seems like she was searching for some kind of sign to be able to communicate with, those who had already passed on that she missed and loved. I don't know, but I guess Riley feels like that was something that Lisa Marie maybe was looking in the wrong places or something. I really don't know. Riley says that after the book tour, she talked to her dad, Danny Keough, and asked him how he felt about the book and its publication. And he said, she goes on to say that they both agreed that even though Lisa Marie hadn't been able to finish the book herself, that it felt like to them that she was a much more complete picture than she was before the book came out. That it gave people more of an understanding of who she was. And I have to agree with that statement. After reading it, I felt I knew a lot more about her. I knew more of how she felt about certain things. obviously all of the trauma and sadness that she endured, we knew about that, but how she coped with it and what all that she had to deal with and how she coped with it and her ups and downs and all of those things. Her struggle after the twins were born with the addiction to opioids and how she kicked that habit. And I feel like that Lisa, again, was very misunderstood. And this book, I feel like, probably did help a lot of people know her better. And I hope that it helped people who were struggling with things, with opioid addictions, and that it encouraged them that they could be strong. For people who have lost a child or a family member to suicide, that it encouraged them, her determination to keep trying, her honesty in how that it just absolutely leveled her, and the days when she didn't want to do anything, when she didn't want to be here anymore, but she kept trying and she never ever gave up. I hope that's what people will remember, and I hope they read the book and it helps someone. Riley says that she heard from people who read the book and that they had felt, a lot of them felt compelled to write to her and tell her how it made them feel, and that she said a lot of the responses brought tears to her eyes because they were so touching. But she knew in her heart that that was exactly what her mother would have wanted to hear. It was the reaction that she had been looking for, that she helped somebody, that they understood her better. And I think that's wonderful. And I hope many more people will read it and they will come to know Lisa Marie, as those of us who have read that book have. She said that as she read through all of the comments, she said she could just imagine her mother peering over her shoulder and reading them with her. She said she talks about how that she wondered if maybe she had been preordained to write this book. She had always been like the documentarian of the family, and that her mother had told her at one point that someday you're going to do a documentary over my life. She wrote the book. So she said, you know, she's had those kind of thoughts. Was this something that was predestined to happen? Is this what I was here for, is to do this for my mom, you know? And you have all those kind of thoughts going through your head when you lose a parent. And I can only imagine. I know when I lost my mom, and I still think about her every single day and wonder, you know, I wonder if she can see me, or I wonder if she would be pleased with this, or if she'd be happy with this, or, oh, I'm glad she didn't see me do that, or, you know, all of the things. And, you know, you can't help it, because they were such a big part of your life and such a big influence in your life that you want them to be proud of you, and you want them to, you hope that you've done the best you can, and that what you did for them would have been what they wanted. She said, she said exactly what I just said, that she would like to think that people who pass away get the opportunity to watch their loved ones. But, you know, we don't know that for certain, if they do or if they don't. You know, I have my own personal beliefs on that. But again, it's all speculation on my part. She said that even though, you know, she had written the book, she did the tours, she was searching for a sign, she said she just never got one. And she said she wondered, you know, if once you're gone, you just don't see anything at all. And was she just here and then she was gone? Well, you know, for me as a Christian, I know that when I'm gone from here, life isn't over for me. and that I know where it's going to just begin, because I believe that once I get to heaven, the best is yet to come. But Riley was just expressing her thoughts here on paper, and that what if when people die, they're just gone? And she said, and what if a sign from her never came? Well, guess what? She ends the afterword with this. She said that these were the ever-loudening thoughts swirling in my head when our second child was born 2 weeks early on February 1st, her mother's birthday. So their second child was born then. So I guess Riley took that as a sign that her mother was pleased. So their second baby was born on Lisa Marie's birthday, and I think that is so awesome and so cool. And I hope that it did bring Riley a little bit of peace, and that she feels like that her mother was happy with her. And, you know, I don't know what all was in those tapes. I don't know if, Riley covered everything, but I can't imagine that it was an easy thing for her to do. I truly, deep down, feel like there is a whole lot more that maybe wasn't discussed. But again, that's just me wondering out loud, and hoping that there might be a part 2 someday. Because I think even though we got a really good picture of who Lisa Marie was, I think there's still more for us to know and to learn. So we'll see. Only time will tell, Will she do that documentary? Will she do a movie someday about her mother? Will they turn this book into a movie? That's something that we don't know, and only time will tell. So I think that would be so great. And I would love to see it, and I'd be buying a ticket. So time will tell, and we'll find out. So, well, anyway, that is all I have for today. I apologize that this video is a little late getting out to you guys. My dad has been in the hospital. Today marks a week. So I have been doing a lot of traveling back and forth to check on him. So it just took me a little bit to get this video out to you guys. But anyway, until next time, remember, you only get one shot at this life, so live each day to the fullest, because you never know what tomorrow may bring. Hope to see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.